Wait, there's a turnoff.
I'm gonna get you help, okay? No, don't die! Come on, breathe, breathe! I'm here. I'm here.
The narrative commences with Kimberly, a contestant, traveling to the forests of West Virginia to participate in a survival reality show. While driving, she is on a call with her manager, who is providing her with directions. Upon arriving at a crossroads, her supervisors instruct her to proceed towards an old paper mill, and she complies. However, as she continues down the path, her call disconnects. Checking her phone, she discovers that there is no signal. In the midst of this, a man unexpectedly appears in front of her vehicle, resulting in her accidentally hitting him. Distressed and alarmed, Kimberly exits her car to assess his condition and fervently prays for his survival. He is still breathing, albeit weakly. As she approaches to assist him, he suddenly seizes her and, horrifically, bites off her lower lip and begins to chew it. Kimberly screams in agony, desperately attempting to escape. At that moment, another mutant known as Three Fingers appears and captures her. He forces her to stand upright before gruesomely slicing her body in half with an axe. The two mutants then depart with portions of her body, creating a profoundly disturbing scene. Subsequently, we are introduced to retired Colonel Dale Murphy, the host of the survival reality show set in the West Virginia forest, titled The Apocalypse. This program features 6 contestants, including Kimberly, who does not make it to the set due to the attack by the mutants. A young man named Michelle oversees the production and also serves as the director. While the other contestants are prepared for filming, Kimberly remains unaccounted for. Michelle decides to proceed without her and enlists the show's co-producer, Mara, to take her place as the 6th contestant, to which Mara agrees. Cameras are strategically placed throughout the forest to closely monitor all participants, and each contestant is outfitted with a personal camera. The filming then commences. Dale assigns the contestants an unusual task, to search for food within the forest, and divides them into teams. After outlining the rules, the show officially begins. Through footage captured by fixed cameras in the RV, we observe Neil using the restroom when suddenly, the Three Fingers mutant stealthily approaches from behind and slits his throat, killing him instantly. Following this, we see Dale in the forest preparing the game area. Upon returning to his vehicle, he discovers that one of the tires has been punctured by an arrow. At that moment, arrows begin to rain down on him. He swiftly dodges and takes cover behind a tree. In front of him, Three Fingers mutant hurls an axe in his direction. Dale narrowly evades it and retaliates by drawing a knife and throwing it at the mutant, successfully striking him in the chest. The narrative continues as the mutant licks the blood from his knife, demonstrating his brutality. Suddenly, another mutant appears and knocks Dale unconscious with a blow from behind. Meanwhile, Michelle is occupied filming Team A, aiming to create viral content that extends beyond mere survival footage. However, Jake expresses his disapproval, stating, "My family will be watching too," before walking away. In contrast, Elena seizes the opportunity to gain attention on the show and flirts with Michelle. Elena and Mara are subsequently assigned a task that requires them to approach the river. They dash towards it, with Mara stepping forward to complete the challenge in mere seconds. However, upon glancing at Michelle and Elena, she feels disheartened, realizing her efforts were motivated by her desire to impress Michelle. Her sadness does not go unnoticed by Elena. Meanwhile, Amber and Jonesy discover a barbecue grill and mistakenly assume it is part of their task. Using a cloth, they lift it and carry it away. Seeking to leave the area, Mara heads toward a nearby house in hopes of finding a telephone. Inside, they encounter photographs depicting 4 grotesque individuals, a father, mother, sister, and brother, all of whom are dangerous mutants. As they examine these images, a sudden scream interrupts their exploration. Peering cautiously, they observe the mother in labor, writhing in agony while the sister assists her in delivering a disturbingly deformed baby. As Elena and Mara watch in horror, the sister catches sight of them. Just as she prepares to attack, they quickly shut the door and barricade it with a bed. Outside, the sister begins to pound on the door violently. With all windows securely locked, they find themselves trapped and terrified, unsure of how to escape. Ultimately, they decide to crawl through a hole in the bathroom. As they flee for their lives, P spots them and hurls an axe, striking Mara directly in the head. Elena, in a state of panic, does not stop to help but continues to run. P approaches Mara's lifeless body, extracts the axe from her head, and pursues Elena. Desperate to survive, Elena hides while Ma arrives in a truck to collect Pa, with Mara's body tied to the vehicle's rear. In a gruesome display, Ma chews on Mara's finger before spitting it out. It lands perilously close to Elena. Trying to remain silent, she covers her mouth with her hand. As the cannibals depart, Elena seizes the opportunity to escape. Michelle returns to the RV and leaves the area behind, leaving Elena isolated. Unbeknownst to her, her brother has been observing her for some time. At that moment, the sister reappears and, upon seeing her brother's attention on Elena, becomes jealous and starts attacking him. In the ensuing chaos, Elena flees as the sister pursues her with a knife in hand. In a brutal confrontation, she stabs her multiple times in the back with such ferocity that her spine becomes exposed, resulting in Elena's immediate death. Upon regaining consciousness, Dale finds himself suspended upside down. In front of him, Three Finger is preparing a meal by dismembering Neil. At that moment, P and Ma arrive in a truck, depositing Mara's lifeless body before departing. As Three Finger prepares to kill Dale, he manages to break free and injures his captor. Demonstrating remarkable bravery, Dale confronts Three Finger and ultimately seizes his gun, shooting him. Meanwhile, Michelle is in the RV reviewing footage from the cameras when the vehicle unexpectedly begins to drive itself. Initially believing Neil is at the wheel, she soon discovers that it is actually P and Ma who have taken control. They capture Michelle, and Pa brutally assaults him, leaving him severely injured. Elsewhere, Amber, Jonesy, and Jake are enjoying a barbecue when a visibly shaken and terrified Elena arrives. She recounts her harrowing experience and warns them to leave immediately. However, Jonesy dismisses her concerns as part of the show and assumes she is merely acting. Suddenly, Amber notices a tattoo on the meat they are consuming, realizing that they are unwittingly eating Kimberly's leg. Upon this horrifying revelation, the group stop eating and eventually departs. Upon reaching the RV, they find it empty and decide to head toward the paper mill in search of safety. Meanwhile, Dale searches a nearby house where he encounters Maynard, the gas station owner from earlier in the film. While tending to his wounds, Maynard explains that the mutants are the result of inbreeding and chemical contamination from the paper mill. When Maynard learns that Dale killed Three Finger, his son, he attacks Dale in a fit of rage. In response, Dale grabs a stick of dynamite and thrusts it at Maynard, resulting in an explosion that dismembers him. After this encounter, Dale prepares for battle against the mutants by gathering all available equipment. The remaining 4 survivors begin their search for the mill when they suddenly hear screams emanating from the forest. A brother and sister are in pursuit of them. Taking advantage of the chaos, Na makes a run for the van and escapes, leaving her companions behind. The remaining 3 fight off their attackers and manage to flee. However, during their escape, Nena falls into a pit. Despite her history of self-preservation at the expense of others, Jake decides to return for her after hearing her cries for help. He instructs Amber and Jonesy to proceed to the mill and promises to meet them there. Jake successfully locates and rescues Nena but dislocates his shoulder in the process. Just then, they hear a truck approaching and begin to run again until they reach the edge of a cliff overlooking a river below. The sister soon arrives at the scene, firing at them. With no viable escape route, they leap into the river. Meanwhile, Amber and Jonesy are fleeing, but Jonesy becomes ensnared in a trap. In her attempt to rescue him, Amber also becomes trapped. At that moment, P and Ma appear. P takes aim but ultimately allows his son to take the shot instead. The brother swiftly kills P with his first strike. Concurrently, Nena and Jake struggle to reach the mill, where they discover the skeleton of a young girl hidden inside a cupboard. This sight terrifies Nena, who imagines that the girl had concealed herself from the mutants and perished while waiting. Disturbed, Nena begins to leave, but Jake stops her, insisting they wait for Jonesy and Amber, who are expected to arrive soon. They notice several vehicles belonging to previous victims, including their own RV, from which Michael's screams can still be heard. They rush forward in an attempt to save him. Upon entering the RV, Jake witnesses a live video of Michael before Ma brutally kills him. It is at this moment that Jake realizes they have fallen into a trap, but it is too late. Both Nena and Jake are captured. When Nena regains consciousness, she finds herself bound in front of a dining table while Jake hangs nearby. It is dinner time for the Twisted family, who begin their meal with a prayer. The brother forcefully shoves food into Nena's mouth. It is revealed that the factory serves as their home. Ma carelessly tosses a severed body part into a grinding machine, unaware that Dale is secretly observing her actions. When Dale steps outside, the noise he creates alerts the others, prompting them to search for him. He detonates dynamite, resulting in the brother and sister being trapped. Nenna attempts to free herself from her restraints when Dale arrives to assist her. He then proceeds to untie Jake as well. Just then, Ma and P arrive and become enraged upon witnessing their children being separated. P fires several arrows at Dale, who proves to be a formidable opponent. However, Ma throws a sharp tool that wraps around Dale's neck, inflicting a fatal wound. Blood pours out as he collapses. Despite her struggles, Nenna manages to escape from the mill, but Jake inadvertently enters the room containing the grinding machine. Ma and P pursue him and try to force him into the machine. Hearing Jake's screams, Nenna rushes in to help, biting Pa's neck and tearing away a piece of his skin. While Jake fights Pa off and attempts to push him into the grinder, he tragically loses one of his hands in the process. Ma quickly pulls Pa away from the grinder. At that critical moment, Nenna pulls a lever that activates a moving log, which crashes into Ma and P, propelling them into the grinder where they are shredded into pieces. Following this harrowing encounter, Nenna and Jake escape in their car and drive away. In the film's closing scene, it is revealed that Three Finger is still alive. He prepares Mara's finger as a meal for a deformed child. Thus, the movie concludes. Please share your thoughts and consider subscribing to this channel for future updates.